Have you ever wondered why some people stay calm when the world around them is collapsing? Why certain minds can walk through chaos without breaking, while others fall apart at the first sign of emotional pressure? What if I told you that the difference between the weak and the powerful is not intelligence, luck, or strength, but emotional detachment? Most people believe emotions make them human, but the truth is, emotions are also the easiest way to be controlled. The person who can master their emotional responses doesn't just survive life's storms, they command them. Machiavelli knew this long before modern psychology gave it a name. He observed that rulers who acted from passion always fell into traps set by those who acted from calculation. He taught that power belongs to the one who can feel but not obey those feelings, because when you act out of anger, fear, or love, you are no longer in control. You've handed your power to someone else. You've revealed your weakness. And in the game of life, weakness is always exploited. Think about it. How many times have you said something you regret because you were angry? How often have you made a choice that destroyed your peace just to please someone else? You already know what it feels like to lose control. But what if you could stop that cycle? What if you could become the kind of person who feels everything deeply, yet never lets it interfere with your judgment? The kind of person who stays calm, composed, and strategic, even when emotions try to drag you into chaos? This is what Machiavelli called the highest form of power, the ability to act, not react, to observe everything, but reveal nothing. Emotional detachment is not about being numb, it's about being untouchable. It's a skill that allows you to lead instead of follow, to decide instead of being manipulated, to think clearly when everyone else loses their minds. It's the silent strength behind every great leader, strategist, and thinker throughout history. The truth is, people fear what they can't read. When your emotions are hidden, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability creates respect. Emotional detachment is not the absence of feeling, it's the discipline of power. It's the invisible armor that protects your mind from manipulation, distraction, and defeat. And once you wear that armor, the world can no longer control you with approval, guilt, or fear. So, how do you reach that level of mastery? How do you train your mind to detach from emotion without losing your humanity? The answer lies in understanding the same principles that guided Machiavelli and the greatest strategists in history. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might completely change how you see power, control, and yourself. Maybe you've already felt that shift, the moment when you realize you're reacting too fast, feeling too deeply, giving away your energy to people or situations that don't deserve it. We've all been there, trapped between emotion and reason, torn between what we feel and what we know we should do. That's where the true battle for power begins, not against others, but within yourself. Because every time you let emotion take over, you lose a little bit of control, and every time you master it, you take it back. If this idea resonates with you, if you've ever experienced that silent war between your emotions and your mind, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me how you deal with it. Do you fight your emotions, or do you try to understand them? Your words might help someone else who's going through the same thing. This space is not just about watching, it's about learning together, reflecting together, and growing stronger as a community of thinkers and strategists who seek clarity in a world driven by chaos. And if you're finding value in what you're hearing right now, take a second to like this video. It may seem small, but it makes a real difference. Every like tells the algorithm and me that this kind of message matters, that people out there want deeper content, not noise. It helps this channel reach more minds that crave the same kind of wisdom you do. If you want to keep walking this path with me, exploring Machiavelli, psychology, and the hidden principles of power, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. This isn't just another channel, it's a movement of modern thinkers rediscovering ancient strategies for self-mastery. The more you engage, the more we can build something meaningful together, because what's coming next will take you even deeper into the exact methods that can make you emotionally untouchable, strategically calm, and mentally unshakable. Stay with me. The real transformation begins now. When you react, you lose. It sounds harsh, but it's true. Every reaction is a confession, an emotional signature that reveals who you are, what you fear, and what can be used against you. Machiavelli understood this long before modern psychology gave it a name. He knew that emotion is the enemy of calculation, that feelings cloud perception, distort truth, and turn strong minds into open books for others to read. The one who cannot master emotion will always serve someone who can. Think about the last time you reacted without thinking. Maybe someone insulted you, questioned your worth, or ignored your efforts. For a moment, your pulse raced, your mind burned, and you felt the urge to prove yourself. That instant, before you breathe, before you reflect, is where strategy dies. Because in that space, emotion takes control and logic disappears. The truth is, most people don't make decisions. Their emotions do, and those emotions are easily influenced by others, by manipulation, approval, fear, or guilt. Machiavelli warned that a ruler must appear merciful, not be merciful. The difference is everything. To appear compassionate is strategy. To truly be compassionate is impulse. When you act from impulse, others learn how to push you. They know what words will wound you, what looks will soften you, what tone will break your focus. You become predictable. And in the arena of power, predictability is the death of influence. The moment people can forecast your reactions, they can pull your strings. The world is full of emotional traps, provocations designed to test your balance. In conversations, relationships, negotiations, even casual arguments, someone is always measuring your response. They want to know if you'll take the bait. And most do because they haven't built that internal distance between stimulus and reaction. But the few who do, the ones who can pause, observe, and remain calm, command a kind of silent authority that others can't understand. They don't have to raise their voice. Their composure alone speaks louder than words. Emotional control doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop leaking power. It's the art of holding emotion without letting it overflow. Imagine being so aware of yourself. That anger becomes information, not reaction. That fear becomes focus, not paralysis. That's what Machiavelli meant by strategic coldness. Not cruelty, but clarity. When you detach from the noise of emotion, you start to see the hidden structure behind every situation. You stop reacting to people's words and start studying their intentions. You stop defending yourself and start designing your next move. This detachment is what separates leaders from followers, masters from pawns. It's not something you're born with. It's trained, refined through awareness and repetition. Each time you choose to pause instead of react, you build a new layer of strength. You start to notice patterns others can't see, the motives behind flattery, the manipulation behind kindness, the fear behind aggression. You begin to operate not from emotion, but from insight. And insight is the real source of power. Now I want to go even deeper into this truth, because once you understand how emotion blinds your perception, you'll start to see the world differently. Not as chaos, but as a system of signals, patterns, and intentions waiting to be decoded. You'll realize that most people are not cruel or wise. They're simply ruled by their emotions, and that makes them predictable. And once you see predictability, you can navigate it, influence it, and even use it to your advantage. Emotional detachment isn't about isolation, it's about transformation. It's about reclaiming the space between what happens and how you respond. That space is where your power lives. It's where your mind becomes sharper, your decisions clearer, your presence stronger. And when you reach that state, nothing external can truly shake you anymore. You stop reacting to the world and start shaping it. If this resonates with you, write it down in the comments. I choose control over reaction. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you learn to control the way you show you care. The greatest mistake people make is believing that authenticity means emotional transparency, that you must always show what you feel to be real. But power doesn't exist in exposure, it exists in control. When you reveal everything, you give others the blueprint to manipulate you. When you choose what to reveal, you own the narrative. That's the art of controlled appearance, the balance between truth and performance. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He saw that in politics, leadership, and human relationships, perception often matters more than reality. To maintain influence, you must learn to project calm when chaos erupts, confidence when fear whispers in your ear, compassion when strategy requires patience. It's not about deception, it's about discipline. The difference between actors and amateurs is that actors choose their roles. Amateurs are trapped in theirs. You can feel anger, sadness, or affection, but when you express them without awareness, you hand someone else the script to your story. Controlled appearance is not about living a lie. It's about mastering timing. There are moments when showing emotion builds trust, and others when it weakens authority. A true strategist knows when to display warmth and when to remain distant, when to empathize and when to detach. Think of it like playing chess. Not every move is about attack. Some are meant to distract, to test, to invite mistakes. You don't show the opponent your queen too early. You make them believe they're in control until it's too late. In daily life, this means learning to use emotion as a tool, not a master. When someone insults you, you don't respond with anger. You observe. When someone flatters you, you don't melt. You analyze their intention. You can smile, nod, and even play along, but your inner state remains untouched. You're not pretending. You're practicing emotional strategy. You are choosing which version of yourself the world deserves to see in each moment. That's not manipulation. It's self-governance. It's the freedom to respond intelligently instead of impulsively. The reason most people feel drained by social interactions is because they overexpose their emotional core. They give away too much energy trying to prove, explain, or be understood. But when you master controlled appearance, your energy becomes selective. You express emotion with purpose, not as a reflex. This changes everything. Your presence becomes magnetic because people can sense the mystery. They can't read you, but they feel something powerful beneath the surface. That uncertainty commands respect. People confuse mystery with distance, but they're not the same. Distance pushes others away. Mystery pulls them in. The difference lies in composure. When you can hold emotion without showing it, you project confidence. When you can speak softly while others shout, you project control. And when you can smile while calculating your next move, you become the calm center in a world of chaos. That's when people start to trust you, fear you, or follow you, sometimes all at once. Controlled appearance doesn't require you to hide who you are. It requires you to refine how you express it. Think of it as emotional architecture. Every gesture, word, and silence builds the image that others perceive. And the stronger that image, the less likely they are to challenge it. The calm exterior protects the calculating mind within. It's a kind of psychological armor, one forged not from lies but from clarity. Now I want to go even deeper into this idea, because the real mastery of detachment begins not in how you act, but in how you see yourself. Once you understand how to observe your own emotions from a distance, you'll unlock the next level of self-command, the ability to remain steady in any situation, no matter how intense or personal it becomes. If this message strikes something within you, write in the comments, "I choose calm over chaos." Emotional detachment begins in the quiet space between what you feel and what you decide to do about it. That space is small, barely a heartbeat, but within it lies everything: power, clarity, freedom. Most people never find it because they live fully inside their emotions. They don't experience anger, they become anger. They don't feel fear, they are fear. And as long as you identify with every emotion that rises within you, you'll be ruled by the chaos of your inner world. Machiavelli would call this the most dangerous form of slavery, the tyranny of your own mind. To build internal distance, you must become the observer of yourself. Imagine you are both the actor and the audience in the theater of your thoughts. When something triggers you, step outside for a moment, not physically, but mentally. Watch the emotion appear. Notice how it changes your breathing, your posture, your thoughts. Don't fight it. Don't label it as good or bad. Just see it. Awareness alone begins to dissolve its power. Because what you can observe, you can manage. What you deny controls you. Anger, for example, is not the enemy. It's a message. It tells you where your expectations were violated, where you felt powerless or unseen. Fear isn't weakness. It's information. It warns you where your comfort ends and your potential begins. But when you react immediately to either, you lose the lesson they carry. Observation turns emotion into data, something you can interpret and use, instead of something that uses you. That's what internal distance creates. The ability to study yourself in real time, to turn feeling into understanding and understanding into control. This kind of self-awareness is rare because it requires honesty. It forces you to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself, your ego, insecurities, desires. But that confrontation is liberation. The more clearly you see yourself, the less anyone else can define you. You stop being manipulated by praise or criticism, approval or rejection, because you've already met the parts of yourself that crave them. You no longer chase validation, you study it. You no longer hide from fear, you question it. And in that process, you reclaim the authority over your own mind. Internal distance is not coldness, it's composure. It doesn't disconnect you from life, it connects you to it more intelligently. When you stop drowning in emotions, you start swimming through them. You begin to sense patterns, how certain people trigger the same feelings, how similar situations always awaken the same reactions. That awareness lets you prepare, adjust, and even anticipate emotional storms before they happen. You become a strategist of your own psychology, designing your inner state with the same precision others plan their battles. The result is a deep kind of calm, not the surface calm that breaks under pressure, but a rooted calm that nothing can shake. You'll still feel sadness, anger, or fear, but they'll move through you like passing weather. You remain the sky, vast, steady, untouched. That's the essence of psychological sovereignty, being in charge of your internal climate no matter the storm outside. To reach this level, practice daily observation. The next time you feel irritation rising, pause, label it silently. This is anger. The moment you name it, you separate from it. You've created distance. You are no longer angry. You are noticing anger. That shift, subtle as it is, changes everything. Because once you realize you can observe your emotions, you understand you are not your emotions. And that realization is the beginning of mastery. Now I want to go even deeper into this state of inner control, because once you know how to build that distance within yourself, the real test begins. Maintaining it when others try to pull you out of it, when relationships, manipulation, or conflict challenge your calm. That's where detachment transforms from philosophy into power. If this resonates with you, write in the comments, I see, therefore, I control. In every interaction, whether you realize it or not, people are testing you. They're observing how easily they can influence you, how quickly you react, how deeply you take things personally, how much control you have over yourself. This is the unspoken psychology behind all social dynamics, the constant exchange of emotional signals to determine who leads and who follows. Some tests are subtle, a teasing comment, a delayed reply, a sudden withdrawal of attention. Others are deliberate, provocations meant to push you off balance. In both cases, the purpose is the same, to read your strength, because strength in the social arena is not measured by force, it's measured by composure. Machiavelli knew that people's loyalty often depends less on affection and more on perception. Those who appear calm under tension, steady in conflict, and unemotional in negotiation naturally command respect. They're seen as powerful not because they dominate others, but because they don't get dominated by emotion. That's why detachment in relationships isn't coldness, it's control. When you can stay centered while others lose themselves, you shift the power dynamic without saying a word. You stop reacting to energy and start directing it. Think about the last argument you had with someone who wanted to get a reaction out of you. Maybe they insulted you, maybe they acted distant just to make you chase, maybe they blamed you to feel superior. Their goal wasn't the truth, it was control. They wanted to see if they could pull you into their emotional storm. But when you remain silent, when you breathe instead of defend, when you answer with calm instead of anger, you steal their weapon. That moment of silence is where real dominance begins. It disarms manipulation because manipulators thrive on reaction. If you don't react, you starve their strategy. In relationships, romantic, professional, or social, detachment is not about withdrawing love or empathy. It's about maintaining independence of thought. You can care deeply for someone and still refuse to let their mood dictate your peace. You can listen to criticism without surrendering your self-worth. You can show compassion without sacrificing discernment. This balance makes you unshakable. People sense it. They feel your presence, but they can't move it. That's what creates real attraction and authority, the magnetism of self-possession. The more detached you become, the more clearly you see the games people play. You start to notice patterns others miss, the timing of guilt trips, the rhythm of flattery, the subtle emotional hooks disguised as kindness. What once felt confusing now becomes predictable, and once you see the pattern, you can't be trapped by it. You're not above the game. You're simply not in it anymore. You operate from a higher vantage point where emotion no longer clouds judgment but reveals intention. This is where Machiavellian wisdom becomes practical. When someone tries to manipulate you, they expect resistance or surrender. Detachment gives them neither. You listen, nod, perhaps even smile, but internally, you are still. You don't match their emotional frequency. You lower yours until their chaos fades. They become uncomfortable because they can't read you, can't provoke you, can't predict your next move. That's power, the kind that doesn't shout, doesn't fight, but wins quietly through composure. In love, this same principle protects your peace. You stop seeking validation from others because you already have it within yourself. You stop confusing attachment with connection. Real connection thrives on respect, not dependence. When you detach emotionally, you give others the freedom to be themselves while keeping the freedom to remain yourself. That's not detachment from people, it's detachment from control. Now I want to go even deeper into this idea of composure as power, because once you learn to remain calm in front of emotional pressure, the next step is knowing when and how to act with precision. That's the art Machiavelli considered the final stage of mastery, moving from emotional silence to strategic execution. If this message speaks to you, write in the comments, "Calm is my power." When you master detachment, something remarkable happens. Your movements slow down, your perception sharpens, and every action begins to carry intention. You stop acting out of reflex and start acting out of vision. The noise of emotion fades, and what remains is pure clarity, i.e., mind that moves only when movement serves a purpose. This is where Machiavelli's wisdom transforms from philosophy into practicality. He taught that a ruler should act not by impulse, but by necessity. In other words, don't act to satisfy a feeling, act to fulfill a strategy. Calculated action is not inaction, it's timing. It's the discipline of waiting for the moment when the smallest move achieves the greatest impact. While most people waste energy reacting, you conserve it, observe, and strike only when it matters. You're no longer driven by the need to prove something or to be right. You act because it's required, not because it feels good. That's the essence of strategy, the ability to see beyond the moment and make decisions that align with your long-term vision. This kind of precision demands patience, and patience is one of the rarest strengths in modern life. We're conditioned to react instantly, to reply, to argue, to decide. But impulse always favors the opponent. It reveals your thoughts, exposes your weakness, and locks you into their rhythm. Detachment gives you freedom from that trap. It allows you to pause, to calculate, and to choose not only what to do, but when and how to do it. You become like a chess master studying the board while everyone else plays checkers, seeing 5 moves ahead, not one. Machiavelli believed that the foundation of power is foresight, the capacity to predict consequences before they unfold. When emotion rules, vision narrows. When detachment rules, vision expands. You start to perceive patterns in people's behavior, the subtle signs of opportunity or danger. You learn to anticipate outcomes instead of chasing them. And because your actions are no longer emotional reactions, they become exponentially more effective. Every word you speak, every silence you hold, every decision you make builds towards something larger, your design, your direction, your legacy. But make no mistake, calculated action is not passivity, it's power in motion, guided by awareness. When others rush, you wait. When others hesitate, you move. You act not out of pressure, but out of necessity, the kind of necessity that serves the bigger picture. This patience frustrates those who try to manipulate you because they can't predict your timing. You're no longer playing on their clock. You've built your own. Over time, this practice creates a sense of authority that can't be faked. People begin to trust your judgment because it's measured. They feel your steadiness in your presence, in your decisions, in your silence. They realize you're not swayed by emotions or trends. You move with purpose. That steadiness becomes your brand, your reputation, your influence. And here's the paradox. By acting less, you accomplish more. By speaking less, you're heard more. Because each action carries weight. It's deliberate, aligned, unforced. You don't waste energy convincing others. You let results speak for you. That's the Machiavellian secret. To endurance, lasting longer than anyone ruled by impulse. This level of composure doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see the world. You begin to understand that life isn't about constant motion. It's about intentional direction. The goal is not to do more, but to do what matters. That's when detachment turns into quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need attention, only impact. Now I want to go even deeper into this principle of endurance, because the highest form of power isn't found in what you say or even what you do. It's found in what you can sustain. It's the mastery of patience, resilience, and focus, the ability to hold your strategy steady while everyone else burns out chasing emotions. If this message connects with you, write in the comments, "I move with purpose." Emotional detachment is often misunderstood. People see it as coldness, as if being calm means being disconnected from life. But the truth is the opposite. Detachment isn't the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of it. It's the point where emotion no longer drives your decisions but deepens your awareness. When you detach, you don't stop caring. You start caring wisely. You choose where to invest your energy, who deserves your reaction, and when silence carries more weight than words. It's not about cutting ties with emotion, it's about cutting dependence on it. In a world where everyone reacts instantly, the one who pauses becomes a mystery, and mystery is power. While others chase validation, you watch. While they rush to speak, you listen. And while they lose themselves in the storm, you become the eye within it. Calm, clear, untouchable. That calm isn't passive, it's commanding. It's the kind of stillness that makes others lower their voice around you without knowing why. It's the energy of someone who has faced their emotions, dissected them, and emerged sovereign. Machiavelli would say that those who can't control themselves will never control anything else. He knew that empires, relationships, and reputations collapse when built on impulsive emotion. But the mind that stays detached, deliberate, and disciplined can rule not only others, but also itself. That's the real battlefield. Not politics, not wealth, not influence. The true empire is internal, the mind that cannot be provoked, the heart that cannot be manipulated, the will that cannot be broken. This is the essence of calm within chaos. It's not the absence of struggle, it's the art of stillness inside it. When everything around you screams for a reaction, you choose restraint. When the world demands your attention, you choose focus. That's where real strength begins, not in overpowering others, but in mastering yourself. The most powerful person in the room is rarely the loudest. It's the one who knows when to speak, when to wait, and when to walk away without explanation. Every great strategist, every philosopher of power shared this same principle. The mind that sees clearly wins. Before the battle begins, because clarity defeats confusion, patience defeats haste, composure defeats chaos. Detachment doesn't remove you from the world. It gives you the vision to move through it with purpose. You start acting from principle, not pressure, from foresight, not fear. And that's when your life begins to shift. You stop surviving emotionally, you start leading mentally. So, look at yourself honestly. How many of your choices come from emotion and how many come from clarity? How often have you let anger, jealousy, or fear make decisions that patience could have perfected? The moment you begin asking these questions, you're already stepping into mastery. Because awareness is the first form of detachment. It's the bridge between reaction and control. The calm within chaos isn't a state, it's a practice. It's something you build, refine, and protect. Every time you pause before reacting, you strengthen it. Every time you choose silence over argument, perspective over pride, purpose over passion, you build the fortress of the mind. And over time, that fortress becomes your freedom. Now tell me, do you lead your emotions or do they lead you? Write your answer in the comments. Your reflection might help someone else discover their own calm within chaos. And if these ideas speak to something inside you, stay with this channel, because here we explore the deep art of strategy, psychology, and self-mastery, not as theory, but as a way of life. If you made it all the way, here it probably means this message spoke to something real in you. Maybe you've felt that same pull between emotion and clarity, or maybe you've already started practicing that quiet kind of strength we talked about. If that's the case, let me know in the comments. Write, "I'm with you until the end." I read what you write and it means more than you think. It's how I know these ideas are reaching the people who are truly ready to master themselves. And if this conversation brought you any kind of clarity, perspective, or calm, take a second to like the video. It's a simple way to keep this message alive and to tell the algorithm and me that this kind of depth still matters in a noisy world. If you want to keep evolving, learning, and sharpening your mind with me, make sure you subscribe. Every week we go further into the psychology, philosophy, and strategy that turn awareness into power. There's another video right here that continues this same path. It connects perfectly with what we just explored. Click and keep walking with me there. The journey doesn't end here, it just goes deeper.